What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I'm here today to do an Arsenal inventory update for you. And if the name of this video didn't already give it away, I'm going to be talking to you about two different bands that span the course of many different metal genres. Bands that have crisscrossed between black metal, death metal, thrash metal, heavy metal, just running the gamut of extremities, and have already made an impact in the extreme music world. I'm of course talking about both Absu and Sarcophago. I have 5 records and 1 tape in this video, and I'm going to get started by talking about Absu. Of course, it goes without saying I have their last full-length album, Absu from 2011, playing in the background right now. Such a fucking killer album. But long before the Absu you hear of today, this band had a very straightforward death metal-ish sort of sound in their early demos. Of course, prior to Absu, this band pretty much was comprised of 2 different sort of bands. One band being Magus, the other one being Dolmen. When both of those bands dissolved, they pretty much joined forces and formed Absu, and put out a series of wonderful and insane demos. And one of the demos was recently reissued by The Crypt, and the first record I'm going to show you is from Absu. This is the Temples of Awful. This was released in 2014, I should say. I don't know if it came out in 2014 or 2015. This is a Crypt and Dark Descent release. Yeah. Just the really early beginnings of this band. I believe this release came out around 1993, I want to say. Yeah, seriously awesome stuff. Before a lot of the principal band members you are familiar with from later Absu albums got more well-known and had some notoriety. Just an incredible demo all the way around. I mean, songs like Disembodied and Immortal Sorcery, just some classic early Absu tracks. This also includes the Return of the Ancients demo, which was released prior to the Temples of Awful, and I really think that both of these demos are very essential to the history of Absu. Just some really great stuff. Comes with this little lyric sheet here. On this side you have the stuff that pertains to the Temples of Awful, and on the other side is just stuff relating to the Return of the Ancients demo. Just some scans of the tape, the snail mail order, just some really classic stuff. And I'm not sure of the limitation on this, but this came on a very nice, we'll take out the record here, came on a white vinyl. You have the classic Absu logo here on this side, and on the other side you have the Return of the Ancients. Just some seriously killer stuff. Definitely recommended for anybody who wants to know the earlier happenings of a band like Absu. Really great demo. I'm gonna get the inner sleeve back in on here. That scream just gets to me every single time I fucking hear that part of Earth Ripper. It's fucking insane. And since we're going to be talking about Prescriptor, let's talk about the album in which he officially becomes a member of Absu. And of course I'm talking about the classic 1993 debut full-length entitled Baratherum Vitriol. Or as the full name of the record is supposed to be, and I'm going to pronounce it as best as I can here, Baratherum Visita Interiora Terrae Rectificando in Vinis Occultum Lapidum. It's quite a mouthful. But that's the one of the great things about Absu is the fact that they have such intense wordplay with their style of metal. Mythological occult metal is what they refer to themselves as. But going back to the earlier sounds of Absu is when they had that really distinctive, almost death metal sort of influence in their early sound, sort of transitioning to a more black metal-ish sort of sound, and it really showed on an album like Baratherum Vitriol. Descent into Acheron, The Thrice is Greatest to Dinigal, Fantasizing to the Third of the Pagan Vision. Just some intense songwriting going on here. Very awesome record here. Of course you have the classic artwork that is representative of the release. This was originally released on Gothic Records in 1993. Osmos also put it out, and originally this was put out by The Crypt as a really awesome somewhat pricey box set. And a lot of the other Absu albums got box set releases, including The Son of Tipref, The Third Storm of Scythrol, and of course Terra. I see Eric Bauer, hope you're watching this. I envy you for that Terra box set, and I'll be just happy whenever they come out with the single version of Terra. It's fucking great. But yeah, let me show you the other side. You have the classic band photo. You have Prescriptor right here in all of his evil and cult glory. Nana, God of the Moon, I convoke to thee. Seriously killer stuff. 2014 Crypt reissue, I think, but yeah. Comes with another lyric sheet. You have the classic Absu logo here, lyrics, and on the other side you got more song titles to dive deep into and just get along with the lyrical content. Just some really, really catchy and insane stuff here. Let's sip it back in here. And like the previous record, this also came on a white vinyl. You got the Absu credit, classic Absu logo and credits on one side, and on the other side you have the album cover that you're very familiar with when it comes to Baratheon Vitriol. You got Prescriptor in the middle, kneeling down, doing that really badass pose. I really, really dig that shit. But yeah, this is an essential Absu record. If you ever want to get to, like I say, if you ever want to get to know the earlier workings of Absu, definitely get with the Magus and Dolmen demos, the early Absu demos like the Temple of Awful, and of course the debut Baratheon Vitriol. Seriously awesome and killer stuff. Fucking love this band. Now that we've gotten Absu out of the way, let's make a turn to the South America, Brazil specifically. We're going to talk about Sarcófago now. Sarcófago are one of those legendary, well-respected sort of bands that have a sound that's extremely distinctive to them. It's almost hard to pinpoint what they really truly were or are. They have that influence of black metal and death metal and thrash, heavy metal, just an insane amount of influences throughout their entire sound. Later on, as their career moved forward, their sound changed a lot. Less emphasis on death and thrash, and more emphasis on black metal and having a little bit of an industrial feel. But we're going to talk about the Sarcófago releases that actually mean something to some people. And the first release I'm going to show you is their debut full-length Inri. Now, originally I was going to get the version of Inri that Grey Haze Records put out, preferably the blue album cover, the classic album cover of them in the graveyard or near whatever the hell they're standing in front of. I was going to get that version. But there was another version of Inri that caught my eye. I was on Ajna Offensive, and they had this version, and I saw a couple of my friends talk about this particular version of Inri, and they had it. I had to get it, and I think it's one of the best damn vinyl packages I have ever seen. It is just such a joy to look at. This is, of course, Inri by Sarcófago. This is the 2014 Osmos Productions version. Such a killer job. I mean, look at this thing. This is like a hardcover book. You have the red foil stamping on here. Hardbook cover. You got the red hot foil on the back. The classic track listings. The people who are involved in the band. I mean, what can I say about Inri that hasn't already been said by many other people before? I mean, it's just an insanely intense record. Incredibly blasphemous, incredibly controversial, very twisted, very perverse. Such memorable songs to be found on here. I mean, Satanic Lust, the Inri version of Nightmare, Christ's Death, Ready to Fuck, Deathrash, with the ever famous lyric, "If you are a false, don't entry." Just some insane lyrical content, very highly influential stuff. And let me tell you about this version. This is called the Ludo Evil Edition. Apparently, this is inspired by a guy by the name of Ludo Evil Lejeune, who I believe was a part of the fan club, one of the European fan clubs for Sarcófago, and I think for Blasphemy as well. He had a very big hand in the process of this package making. I'm going to show you, open the book here to show you what exactly you're going to get here with this release. You have the classic band photo here of Sarcófago, and you have some collage photos. This is done like a affixed booklet style with this sepia sort of color tone. photo shoot stuff. Really insane detail here. I think it says sex, drinks, and metal, desecrators, commando. Yeah, I think that's what it says. Yeah. Seriously badass packaging here. Of course, you got more fan club photos here to sink your teeth into. More classics photos here, classic collection photos. Such a sick layout. I really love this layout for what's being shown here. And you get a bunch of other good things to be found in here. You got a lyric sheet with accurate lyrics going on here in comparison to the Grey Haze version of Inri, where it's Ready to Fuck was called Ready to Fucky All the Bitches or something like that. It's a fucking great song, but I think it's actually called Ready to Fuck. But yeah, lyric sheet, information on here. Let's stick it back in here real quick. Oh, fuck it. You got a poster, little sideways poster here. Long ways poster, very, very nice quality shown on here with this. Really incredible. Yeah, I think I'll stick the poster back in here. It's always a pain in the butt to try to get stuff back in here, but and oh yeah, I should also mention everything is inserted this way. It's not like on this side like you would expect on a normal record. It's cut. It's insertable this way, and it comes on a very lovely 180 gram red vinyl. There's also a beer colored version, but this is the red 180 gram vinyl variant. This is Side of Ascension, and this is Side of Fall. Seriously great sounding record here. They did a fantastic job. We also got this little anti-static sleeve to slip it in. I'll take my time putting this lyric sheet and poster back in here, so you have to excuse me on that. But yeah, if you want a definitive version of Inri to own on vinyl, get the Ludo Evil edition from Osmos Productions. I think it's still pretty available to get through Osmos. I mean, I got it through the States through Ajna Offensive. I know a couple of my other friends have this one. It's really, really such an awesome package, so go get this version if you want the definitive version of Inri on vinyl. This is so fucking cool. We're going to talk next about their EP, Rotting. I'm going to show you something that I've never really shown before I show you the vinyl version of Rotting. This is the tape version of Rotting that came out in 1991, I want to say, Maze Records, because back then the album cover was pretty controversial to look at. So instead of just putting the album cover on the tape version, they just put a basic black background with the band logo, Rotting, and of course the selling vantage point featuring original lead singer of Sepultura. Of course, for about a year, Wagner Antichrist was the singer of Sepultura. And I could only think to imagine what could have been if Wagner Antichrist was still involved with Sepultura. Things would have been a lot crazier from there. Of course, it comes on a classic black tape. This is some really old school stuff. Got it a couple of years ago when I was on the way to Austin to see Deicide. But yeah, very nice little collector's item here. And since I showed you the censored version, let me show you the album cover that was meant to be shown. This is Rotting by Sarcophago. I mean, look at this thing. This is some iconic album cover art here. Jesus getting tongue-kissed by a Grim Reaper or something like that. I have no idea what the concept of this whole picture is, but it's fucking intense. I mean, the gatefold looks really nice if you open that so you can see the full vantage point of what's being shown in this album cover. Seriously nice. Of course, you can tell the band members were making a change in their appearance. They were somewhat growing up a little bit, but not too much. I think that this album has much more of a black metal influence than Inri did. Inri had influences all over the board, but I think the black metal influence is very, very prominent here on Rotting. I mean, you hear it on songs like Alcoholic Coma. The Rotting version of Nightmare sounds really awesome. I mean, you have these almost unique sort of ballads like Tracy, and of course the ever-popular Sex, Drinks, and Metal. Such an amazing song. I really, really love how everything turned out for Rotting. It's a great standalone album on its own. I mean, it's considered an EP, but I would honestly think it's suitable enough to be a full-length record. You got this little lyric sheet here with all of the lyrics and stuff, credits and information and thank yous and all that. Band photo of everybody playing, very, very awesome classic band photo. Show you the other side of the gatefold. It's pretty much the same thing. Very nice gatefold design here, and the vinyl color is a joy to look at too. Comes on a translucent green with black smoke. Seriously beautiful vinyl color. It sounds really good. They did a fantastic job with this. Grey Haze did great things with this vinyl reissue, and you're probably not going to be able to see it, but on the both sides of the record, the words sex, drinks, and metal are etched on this thing. It's on the A side and the B side. You got to look carefully for it, but I think that's really cool of them to include such really awesome etchings on here. Definitely something worth paying attention to if you are into Sarcophago. Rotting is an incredible release and very much worth paying attention to, so check out Rotting and get something with this album cover on it, because that's how it's supposed to look. This is how it's supposed to be. Yeah, that's that shit right here. And we get to the last record of the bunch from Sarcophago, and this is where they continue to make a change in their sound. They continue to make a change in their sound, and it verged onto more technical sort of death metal territories. Not technical to the point where it's show-offish, but you can tell they were still in their growth spurt stages. This is the Laws of Scourge. I think this is their proper second album, The Laws of Scourge. It came out in 1991, I want to say. Yeah. Another iconic album cover with the lady with the barbed wire around her neck. Bed of roses in the background. Of course, you have the band member photos. Of course, they're using their real names this time around. The songs on here. I mean, this has some really memorable songs to think about on here. You have Piercings, you have Midnight Queen, you have The Black Vomit, which of course has that classic Sarcophago sort of tinge with the blasphemous sort of lyrics. But yeah, this is another standalone solid release from Sarcophago. I don't consider it to be their best, but I consider it honestly to be the last genuine, legitimately great Sarcophago release. Of course, ever since then, I feel that after this, they had since declined in their sound. Just a personal opinion, but the debut Inri, the Rotting EP, and the Laws of Scourge, that's Sarcophago to me. This was the last great piece of Sarcophago music, in my opinion. You got a gatefold here with the band members themselves decked out and looking all swagalicious. Forgive me for saying that on camera. You have this little fold-out poster here. More band member photo stuff. More band photos, credits, and lyrics. Trying to see out here. Yeah, you have the new S of the new Sarcophago logo with an upside-down cross. That looks pretty damn cool, I would say. I'm gonna stick this back in here real quick. And the vinyl color is quite interesting too. This is on a blue-red split vinyl color. I guess kind of reminiscent to the colors of the album, I would say. But when you think about it, it kind of does look like one of those round Pokemon Pokeball sort of things. I think I've seen Goro Stern talk about this, but yeah, this is the kind of effect that it has. It's a really nice vinyl color, and it sounds great, but that's what it'll look like to you upon the first impression. And like the previous Grey Haze version of with the etchings, the words crush, kill, destroy are etched on both sides of the record. You probably can't see it too well, but if you own this and you look up this version, you'll see the etchings. I think that's another really nice little gesture that Grey Haze Records did for this version. And if anybody happens to own the Grey Haze version of Inri, let me know if there's any etchings on that. I'm curious to know if there's any sort of etchings on that sort of release. I'm curious to know what's going on with that, but yeah. The last great Sarcophago release, in my opinion, The Laws of Scourge. And to be quite honest, for Yucks, I'd like to see eventual vinyl reissues of the last two Sarcophago records. Mainly because I want to hear the song Pact of Cum on vinyl. Yeah, it's pretty crazy like that, but what can you do? But yeah, that's it. Those are all the records and tape. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are into Absu and Sarcophago. Let me know what you think of these respective releases and how you feel about them, if you happen to own any of these on record, or CD or tape or whatever. Let's get this great conversation going about these two fucking incredible bands. So support Absu, support Sarcophago. I'm going to conclude this video. Thanks a lot for watching, thanks for checking out my channel, and until the next time, Armijo out.